McDonald's used to own one of the simplest ideas in fast food. If you wanted something quick, familiar, and affordable, McDonald's was the easy choice. That idea is now under pressure. Customers still know the brand. They still recognize the golden arches from the road. They still know the Big Mac, the fries, the drive-thru, and the app. But after years of higher prices, many customers are asking a different question. Is fast food still cheap enough to feel like fast food? That is why McDonald's is fighting to look cheap again. The company is not only trying to lower a few prices, it is trying to repair a belief. The belief is that McDonald's is a reliable value when money feels tight. CNBC reported that McDonald's unveiled a new global growth plan as competition rises. The Wall Street Journal reported that burger chains are pushing promotions even while food costs are hard to absorb. Those stories point to the same tension. McDonald's needs value to bring customers back. But value is expensive to offer when franchisees, labor, beef, rent, and packaging all have to be paid. The real story is not just the price of a meal. It is the risk that customers stop believing fast food is the affordable option. McDonald's is one of the largest restaurant systems in the world. In 2025, its system-wide sales were over $139 billion. That number includes sales made by company restaurants and by franchised restaurants. But McDonald's corporate revenue was much smaller, about $26.9 billion. That difference matters. McDonald's is not just a burger seller. It is a franchisor. It is a brand owner. It is a real estate and rent collector in many markets. It is also a digital platform with a loyalty program and an app. About 95% of McDonald's restaurants were franchised at the end of 2025. That means local operators run most of the restaurants. They hire workers. They buy food and packaging. They manage the drive-thru line and the kitchen schedule. They also pay fees, royalties, and often rent back to the McDonald's system. For corporate McDonald's, franchise sales create high-margin revenue. For a franchisee, the same sale has wages, beef, fries, cups, utilities, and rent attached. So when the brand says it needs value, the operator has to make the math work inside the store. That is where the story becomes more complicated than a cheap meal. Fast food is supposed to solve a practical problem. The customer is hungry now. The customer may be in a car, on a lunch break, or ordering through a phone. The meal has to be fast. It has to be predictable. And it has to feel worth the price. For decades, that last part was one of McDonald's strongest advantages. The customer did not need to think very hard. A value menu, a combo meal, or a familiar sandwich made the decision easy. But the restaurant industry has become more expensive to operate. The National Restaurant Association reported that food costs and labor costs remained major challenges for limited service operators. Inflation, insurance, utilities, and card processing also add pressure. Those costs show up before the customer decides to buy anything. A restaurant must schedule workers before the lunch rush begins. It must keep equipment running. It must stock beef, chicken, buns, fries, sauces, and cups. If traffic falls, those costs do not disappear. That is why restaurants raise prices. Higher prices can protect margin for a while, but they also change how customers think. A $12 meal can make a customer compare McDonald's to a grocery store, a taco box, or a casual dining promotion. Once that comparison starts, McDonald's has already lost part of its advantage. McDonald's became powerful because it made eating out feel standardized. The food was familiar. The restaurant format was repeatable. The service model was built for speed. A customer could enter a McDonald's in one city and know what to expect. That predictability was valuable. Ray Kroc's franchise system turned that predictability into scale. McDonald's did not need to own and operate every restaurant itself. It could recruit operators, train them, standardize the process, and collect fees from the system. The model worked best when restaurants had strong traffic. More customers meant more sales for franchisees. More franchisee sales meant more royalty and rent income for McDonald's corporate. Value menus later became a traffic tool. They gave customers a clear low-price reason to visit. They also protected McDonald's during moments when consumers became more cautious. But the old value menu was easier to understand than today's value strategy. A low price was printed on the board. The customer saw it before ordering. Today, value can be a bundle, an app deal, a loyalty reward, a targeted offer, or a limited time promotion. That gives McDonald's more control, but it can also make value feel less simple. To understand the value problem, follow one order through the system. A customer pulls into the drive-thru and orders a burger meal. If the restaurant is company operated, McDonald's records the sale and pays the store level costs. Those costs include food, paper, payroll, occupancy, and other operating expenses. If the restaurant is franchised, the local operator records the restaurant sale. McDonald's corporate records fees, royalties, and rent connected to that restaurant's sales. This creates a different economic shape. The franchisee lives closer to the daily cost pressure. The company lives closer to the fee stream created by system sales. That is why franchising can produce high corporate margins. In 2025, McDonald's operating margin was about 46%. The company also said franchise margins represented about 90% of restaurant margin dollars. That is a very different business from simply selling hamburgers at store level. But the model still depends on customers walking in, driving through, or opening the app. If traffic weakens, the system weakens. The franchisee has fewer orders to cover fixed costs. McDonald's corporate has less franchise sales volume underneath its fee stream. That makes value more than marketing. A value meal is a traffic engine. An app deal is a repeat visit tool. A loyalty reward is a way to bring the same customer back again. The company wants the customer to think of McDonald's before comparing every alternative. When that happens, the brand saves the customer time. And saving time is part of the value. The first key factor is value perception. Value perception is not the same as the lowest price. It is the feeling that the meal is worth what it costs. A customer can accept a higher price if the food, speed, and convenience feel fair. But if the meal feels ordinary and expensive, the brand loses trust. This matters because McDonald's sells habit as much as food. The easiest customer is the one who does not debate the purchase. They are hungry. They see the sign. They enter the drive-thru. Value complaints interrupt that habit. The second factor is franchisee economics. A national campaign may look simple on television. Inside the restaurant, the operator has to make it profitable. If a discounted bundle brings a long drive-thru line, the operator needs enough margin and enough staff to handle it. If the bundle mostly replaces higher-priced orders, the operator may feel squeezed. That is why corporate support for discounts matters. It can help bridge the gap between what the brand needs and what the operator can afford. The third factor is the app. The app lets McDonald's offer value without changing every menu board price. A customer can see a deal, earn points, redeem a reward, and order again later. That gives McDonald's a direct connection to the customer. It also lets the company measure which offers change behavior. But the app creates a new risk. If customers believe the real price only exists in the app, the posted menu can look too expensive. The fourth factor is menu engineering. McDonald's can use a cheap item to start the order. Then fries, drinks, desserts, sauces, breakfast items, and premium sandwiches can shape the final ticket. The value item gets attention. The rest of the basket helps the economics. This works only if the offer feels honest. If the advertised price feels like a trick, it does not repair trust. The fifth factor is competition. Customers can switch with almost no effort. Burger King can push a bundle. Wendy's can push a bag deal. Taco Bell can push a low-price box. Casual dining chains can advertise a meal that suddenly looks comparable to fast food. Even grocery stores and convenience stores compete for the same budget decision. McDonald's scale is enormous, but scale does not stop a customer from turning into another parking lot. The value fight is really a fight for the next default choice. This changes how McDonald's growth strategy should be understood. A new restaurant design is not only about appearance. It can help speed, labor flow, digital pickup, and drive-through execution. Better food is not only about taste. It can make a higher price feel more acceptable. Consumer-led innovation is not only about new products. It is about knowing which offers make people come back. Improved service is not only a hospitality goal. It protects the value equation because waiting too long makes the meal feel worse. The CNBC growth plan fits this larger problem. McDonald's wants to be the first choice in a market where every restaurant is a swipe away. That means the company has to win before the customer begins a long comparison. Price is one part of that. Convenience is another. Trust is the part that connects them. The main risk is that value campaigns become permanent defense. If customers only return for discounts, McDonald's may protect traffic but weaken pricing power. Another risk is franchisee resistance. Operators need remodels, staffing, equipment, and menu execution to earn acceptable returns. If value offers hurt margins too much, execution can suffer. A third risk is cost inflation. Beef, labor, packaging, utilities, and insurance can make every cheap offer harder to fund. A fourth risk is customer skepticism. Once people decide a brand became too expensive, One promotion may not change their mind. They may keep checking alternatives even after McDonald's lowers the visible price. That is why this is not a one-quarter problem. It is a brand memory problem. McDonald's is fighting to look cheap again because affordability was never just a menu category. It was part of the brand's identity. The company can still sell billions of dollars of food. It can still run one of the most profitable franchise systems in restaurants. But the system depends on traffic, and traffic depends on trust. When customers believe McDonald's is a good value, the drive-thru becomes an easy decision. When they stop believing that, every meal becomes a comparison. That is the real threat. McDonald's does not only need to be cheaper. It needs to feel cheap enough that customers stop asking whether fast food still makes sense.